Africa's gift to its tribe. Homegrown radio. Ekaya. My home.
Blockchain Africa 2023. We are here with Mark Chirnside of Xago. Mark, good day. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
What are you doing here today?
Well, I'm here with Xago, as you said, to show off how we move money across borders very quickly using crypto as an underlying sort of channel, if you like, sort of an alternative to SWIFT that the banks use.
Oh, brilliant. Do you fall under fintech, would you say?
We are a fintech. At the same time, we're kind of regulated in that kind of space, or trying to be very heavily regulated.
Are you heavily regulated?
Well, I want
which
to
is
be,
the
actually. I
FSP.
want to be regulated. Yeah.
What is that FSP lingo they use? Financial services provider, and this is, what's it?
So we're actually under crypto, it'll be a CASP, a crypto asset service provider.
Brilliant. How evolved is that regulation in South Africa, would you
We've
say?
been working with the regulators for about 2 years.
Are you part of the contribution to the regulations?
Yeah, so we have been. Yeah. So we've been showing how we can move money cross border, how quickly we can do it, how securely we can do it. How can a person see what they're doing?
Right.
If you take normal movement money across border, there are three things we always go for. First one is speed.
Yes.
Typically, most cross-border transactions in Africa can take up to 10 days. Into Europe, maybe up to 5 days. Typically, if you're doing a large value, you're probably going to pay 2.5%.
Right.
If you're an individual sending 1,000 rand home, 500 rand home, you can pay on average 9%. And I've seen as bad as 29% to Mozambique,
crazy.
which is, in my opinion, borderline criminal, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that's that part. So speed and cost, and thirdly, did mum get the money, which is often a challenge. So
Security.
So I've been in finance most of my life, and we set out to make it faster. So typically, if I want to move money to outside of South Africa, for example, to the UK, usually less than 1 minute.
What?
Yeah.
You've got to be kidding me.
No.
And what form is the currency? Is it fiat or is it in?
So rand in.
Right.
Then we switch it into crypto, and then we sell the crypto effectively in the UK with a partner there, and it goes out through a product called Faster Payments, which is similar to what was launched here yesterday by BankServe. Then it goes out, and it's typically, for example, if I send money I used to send money to my mother, she passed away, but to HSBC, and it would be there in about 30 seconds.
And what is the levels of transparency? Am I able to immediately see what the conversion rate and how much I'm going to be charged?
You can't do it any other way.
Right.
You have to show, I've got 500 rand, what's it worth in pounds or Kenyan shillings or whatever it is you're doing? It's worth this much. Do you want to proceed? Yes.
Right.
And that's it. And
what if I'm doing a service for an externally based organization and I want to receive payment? Do you have that system?
So digital services are okay. Physical goods with import, there are other issues for customs and controls and excise. But if you want to move it cross border for that, so we have been part of the reporting process. So we want to report what people are doing, which is like a bank does.
Which is part of regulation.
Part of regulations, which has been missing in South Africa.
So you work with SARS?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, SARS, yes, a bit, but more FinServe and SAPs as well, because obviously there's where did the money go if there was any issues, finding money, making sure it's not going to the wrong person.
Absolutely.
Making sure that the person you're sending to is not a known terrorist or whatever it might be. So there's a lot of checks and balances, and that's a good thing.
To make sure that you rule out the bad players, the bad actors.
Yeah, and unfortunately there's a lot of bad
There are
actors
so many
in
bad
crypto,
actors.
but it's no different to banking. Many years ago, or even today in some people's minds, but many years ago, there's banking regulation for a reason.
What have your challenges been? How would you say?
I'd say initially, as a South African entity, trying to get bank accounts overseas was challenging, but the South African Reserve Bank and Capitec, and in the end we did what's called an anti-money laundering and KYC audit, and that was a big move forward. It took us 18 months to get a UK bank account, and I am from UK originally, so you wouldn't think I'd find it hard, but we did. So America was a little bit easier. Europe was easier once we got the UK one. So it's hard, and now with the grey listing it's a little bit harder again.
I can imagine. So your main clients are your banks,
The banks and money transfer companies that are moving reasonable sums of money. But because of our model's percentage base, we don't really mind if you send 20 rand.
You're right.
If you want to send 200 million rand,
Yeah.
not that I've had one of those, but if you wanted to send 2 million rand, that's okay. But if you wanted to send 100 rand home, that's okay.
So you would be at the back end within a banking app.
That's one option. Or Xago does exist as a B2C model, but it's primarily going towards a B2B model.
Interesting stuff. Well, one of the biggest challenges in this crypto world is the adoption phases. And we could say, even though it's been around for a bit, it's still very early days. And sometimes you find that even CEOs or big decision makers of these entities don't understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And it takes longer. And even though it's a huge solution for them, but because there's a mind block due to the FUD or the misunderstanding, how do you bridge that?
Well, that's a very good point. Comes up at the banks constantly with the compliance guys. But I think I kind of liken it to a different way. All of us go into the shop and use a debit card or a credit card.
Right.
How many of us know how that works? Exactly how it works. And do we need to know?
No.
No. If we want to transfer money through a bank to the UK, do we know how that works?
Yeah. No.
Not really.
Not really. We just want a seamless process.
Sadly, because I've been doing this a long time, I do know. But the reality is, do you need to know how crypto works to make the benefits of blockchain? No, you do not. If you want to know, I'll tell you.
Right.
But if you don't, you just want to get money there.
Same way that if I'm thirsty and I want water out of my tap, I just want the water. I don't really want to know how it got there and who purified it and so on and so on.
No.
So I hear you. What is the future? What is the future of this solution, do you think?
I think it's coming. Faster payments are all over the world now. So the ability to move money from A to B very quickly, from your bank account to someone's credit card to another bank account to a mobile money account in Kenya or in Pesa or something like that, or to a point of sale.
Right. And tell me, have you adopted all the currencies? What are your main currencies?
Are fine. Fiat currencies are fine. We use mainly XRP, Ripple XRP.
Ripple, yeah.
But we do it for a good reason. It's very quick.
Yeah.
And the cost of transacting is quite low, or very low. So typically we're only in crypto for 7 seconds. That's it.
7 seconds.
7 seconds. That's it. So we're in and out. So you put your rand in, and your pounds out, and it's gone from rands to XRP to pounds.
Are you looking at expanding to other digital assets, perhaps Tether, USD,
We
Bitcoin?
do USDC in the US. We do US dollars already, euros and pounds. The next one is going to be Mauritian rupees and hopefully Kenyan shillings. And then we've got literally a list of 41 to do.
Right.
In Africa.
So if I have Ripple, can I then just transfer my Ripple straight to the UK if I needed to do it instead of, or do I have to first take Rand to Ripple, then Ripple to pound?
If you already have Ripple, you can load your XRP into Xago and convert it to pounds and withdraw it to a bank account in the UK.
Wow, these are the kind of things we need solutions that solve problems that we don't know we have. So when you travel and you're trying to exchange dollar, you go to the traditional system.
It's not necessary and too expensive.
I wish that, this is just my wish, that once the banks know that there are easier solutions for the end user, that they would scrap out the traditional means, scrap out the forex departments and say, we're going with, so if you're in KZN, say we're going with Xago. If you're in Cape Town.
Please don't ask me to repeat that.
So that it makes life easier for us and it saves us. We're already in a grey listing, so the more money that could be left in our pockets, the better. This is Blockchain Africa 2023, and we're hanging out with Mark Chirnside, who's a Tottenham supporter. And I'm an Arsenal supporter. Guess who's on top?
In my dreams, it's temporary.
In your dreams, perhaps of the future. But
well, you got to remember, when I was 8, they were winning things. So that's why I support them.
It's a good thing. I see someone else is smiling, but he's a Chelsea fan, so he's got no reason to be smiling.
That's not even football.
Oh boy. Anyway, so I've also noticed that you've kept your accent. I mean, it's a strong accent. And you've been in South Africa for so long, and you've held on to that accent.
Yeah.
Which part of the UK is your
I'm
accent?
from Bournemouth in the UK.
Bournemouth.
Right on the south coast.
Oh, nice.
So,
Nice.
so,
And it's not easy to lose an accent at an older age.
I don't wish to
Older
lose
age.
my accent. It's very good.
I think the
Being single
younger.
now, it's really good.
You're single now? Hey, ladies, you got that one, right?
Yes.
So, no, we're excited. And I'm happy that Bitcoin Events is doing such an amazing job. Sonia is doing a brilliant job.
Yes.
She's got the Crypto Fest in Cape Town, Blockchain Africa. What a visionary. It is so necessary. And just shout out to Sonia for these events where we can all come out and plug our products, and especially the crypto enthusiasts, the people that are passionate about education, like Learn Crypto. We're out here and and I also like the fact that we're not in your main big areas that just what do you call it? They intimidate. Even in Cape Town, we're at a beachfront area. I love it. So please look out for Crypto Fest later on this year. And if you're in Cape Town, do visit Crypto Fest 2023. I'm looking forward to it. I'm planning my trip already.
There was a whale there last year.
It was beautiful. I heard about the whale, but I didn't get to see it. We went on that boat.
Oh, you were on the boat that time?
Yeah.
Yeah, the whale was there around that time.
Where was that whale?
Right in front of
Man! Oh!
Perfect for whales, for crypto, perfect timing, yeah?
Whales for crypto in a bull market.
Yeah.
What a brilliant analogy.
I don't know how Sonia arranged it, but it was good.
Sonia can move mountains, so big shout outs to
she's
Sonia.
Xago's co-founder as well. So
We would love to actually really go big and have as many people who are interested. I would love to see all the banks here and just quickly adopt the blockchain
some are
technology. Yeah.
today.
All of them should be here.
Yeah.
I wish my bank was here. So backward. I'm not going to mention who my bank is, but I wish that everybody could, as quickly as possible, adopt this the blockchain technology.
Me too.
I wish that voting could, because think
Actually,
about voting in Africa.
It's our conversation, but it was about 5 years ago. I did a interview about voting.
Right.
So you could prove definitely today with things called neuromorphic facial recognition, which was linked to the Department of Home Affairs,
Right.
that person should vote and they are entitled to vote and they're
Yes.
in their correct area. That's one. And then using the blockchain, you could record how they voted.
Absolutely.
But with a not anonymized, so that we can't get back to the individual.
And it should, yeah. I
And
mean,
then,
that's what.
then you don't get the silly. You don't get the little black mark on your thumb, which was obviously
But you don't even have the speculation as to who really won the elections.
none
Because
whatsoever.
it's almost it's actually not almost, it's impossible to hack it. So everything being, I mean, in 2023, we're still crossing a paper in a ballot and trusting that somebody is going to hold on to that box and send it to the right people to count it without a vested interest. And
I do believe it's definitely feasible and not too hard to do.
And since we are talking the blockchain conference, there's so many things that could go onto the blockchain, like the medical industry. Why do I have to, if I'm traveling in the UK, I should be able to access my X-ray records and not have to run another X-ray. And doctors should be able to speak to each other, you know.
Yeah, they should.
We're on Web 3. We should be moving faster.
Well, there's loads of things like that, your records, but it's obviously things like going into the doctor and you are who you say you are, so you're not pretending to be someone else, and the doctor's not saying you can use this person's ID to get your medical aid for free this time.
I didn't know you could do that. That's a good idea. I'm going to think about it.
There you go. Glad I can be of use. See, the blockchain has lots of uses.
Mark, thank you. It's been just amazing chatting with you. I can tell that you've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, sorry.
With time permitting in the future, I believe we will have more conversations. Are you on Twitter Spaces?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. I think let's host a few Twitter Spaces and continue to educate people about great innovative solutions that will make their day-to-day lives easier. And I would really use Xago for transacting. My son is moving to the US this year. I definitely want to get him onto the system as well. And the quicker that our institutions can jump onto this beautiful bandwagon, the better it will be for us. What are your closing words in this respect?
I think many of the banks the banks have lots of people working on this right now. There's almost every bank in South Africa, for example.
Brilliant.
The timing, sure, it's not going to be until the latter part of this year at the earliest. I think with the regulation coming in for the crypto asset service providers, that makes a lot of difference. And that'll give them comfort. The compliance teams say no and then ask what do you want to do? So we've got to get past that. But I think most of the banks are talking to Xago one way or another.
Last question from me. Who's your final crypto head?
My
your final crypto personality or your crypto hero?
Oh golly, I don't really have one. That's a really good question. No, I don't really have one.
There's no one that you specifically follow to find out what they feel, where they're going, or an institution that you chase?
I obviously follow the Ripple and stuff because of work-related scenarios, and I always follow money movement because that's my background. But not an individual. I don't know. I'm only a teenager. I know everything. I'm joking.
Mr. Know-it-all.
I'm joking.
10 years old, turning 35.
Yeah,
Lovely.
I wish.
Mine is Michael Saylor. I follow everything he said. I know he's got so much money invested in cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin. He's he's only about Bitcoin. And he's the ex-CEO of MicroStrategy, and he's invested a lot. So like him, I bought when we were in the 30s, and so I'm desperately needing this currency to go above the 30 mark.
I was getting there yesterday.
Until something happened. Something's always happening. So look out for the space. The crypto or the digital asset world is where we are going with the future of money. This is Learn Crypto on Homegrown Radio at the Blockchain Africa Conference 2023, and we're out.
Africa's gift to its tribe. Homegrown Radio. Ekhaya. My home.